Good afternoon, everybody. This is video 5 of an ongoing series where I'm going to be diving into a book that we launched called The Ultimate ChatGPT Guide for Real Estate Agents. Now, it is a digital copy. You're more than welcome to pick up a copy of it yourself. You can go to workflowsecrets.info/WFS GPT guide. I'll throw the link in the description down below. But I'm going concept by concept and sharing everything in here with you guys. Currently, it's 148 pages. There's a lot of content to cover. So either tune in, follow along, like, subscribe to this video and this page, and you'll learn everything from this book, or pick up a copy. It's $39, and it's the best way you can currently support us over here at Workflow Secrets. The reason I did not publish it as a hard copy like we did our best workflow secrets is because ChatGPT is changing so often, and I wanted to make sure you guys didn't pick something up that is immediately useless as soon as it reaches your door. I just felt like that was such a terrible concept, and I did not want to do that to you guys. But we are going to be looking at some quick tips for prompt tools, and it is a pretty exhaustive list, so I am going to do my best to help you guys understand some of this stuff. But I currently took the excerpt from the book and I just plugged it into its own little Google Doc so I could reference it a little quicker. But we are going to be talking about some language that you can use in ChatGPT to help your prompts. And the very first one that I want to look over is probably the most effective one. I've talked about it before, and Mark and I kind of go back and forth on this one, but it is the word continue. Now, when you are writing a prompt, or when you are working in ChatGPT, rather, sometimes it'll just stop. And it's because it ran out of characters. Now, I think ChatGPT is limited to like 4,000 characters, and then it'll stop, right? And it wasn't finished. It still got stuff to give you. It just didn't have any more room on that single like output, right? And so you can write the word continue and it'll continue writing till it finishes what it was trying to give you. Now, me personally, I like to say continue with ... and articulate what I want it to continue with. Mark just writes the word continue and moves on with his life. He embraces chaos a little bit more than I do. Neither of them is wrong. I have personally had some issues with just writing the word continue, where ChatGPT didn't quite understand it and it started generating content in a different format or different style. And so I don't like to just use the word continue, though that is one of the ways in which that you can get it to finish generating that prompt. And I like to use that one first because it's such a powerful little piece. Now, the next one that you can do is you can say more, or X more, as in like lead management more. And again, if it's responded to you and you would just like a little bit more detail, a little bit more of a response, maybe it's giving you a list of 10 items of the prompt that you would like, you can just write the word more and it'll start building out more. And this is really great when you are trying to come up with comprehensive lists. So when I sat down to build out the Systems Accelerator Manager, it's a piece of software that we're building for real estate agents that helps you guys build systems. I had articulated to ChatGPT, and I've been using it for building out some of the code, but also some of the concepts inside of it. So we use Mark's framework, the CORE strategies, that's conversions, operations, retentions, and experiences. The 4 core areas you need good systems in your real estate business. And inside of each of these, the conversions is all about leads. The operations is all about your business operations and the systems inside of it. The experiences kind of encompass everything, and then retention, then experiences rather. But retention is all about how do we get long-term customers, repeat customers, and we kind of, if we nail that, we don't have to focus so much on those leads and that 30, 60, 90-day cycle. So 4 core areas that you need good systems in. I took those and I built out the different areas of focus for SAM, the Systems Accelerator Manager. So you can click, oh, I'm trying to build conversions, and it's going to pop up lead management. It's going to pop up, guides, tips, tools. all of the different things that you could inside of your lead management build systems out of. And so when I was doing that, I used more and I started generating lists of all of the different things you as a real estate agent could build out. Is it a guide? Is it a how-to? Is it a Q&A? Is it an FAQ? All of these different things. I started getting lists and understanding, okay, these are all types of different things that a real estate agent can build out to help a lead coming in the door, called lead magnets, or things that you can offer to people to help attract them, help inform them, and help engage them with you and your business, right? So you can use that. You can also ask ChatGPT, do you understand? If it's given you a response and you're not quite sure it really understood, or the output it gave is a little bit screwy, you can ask it, do you understand? And it should be able to validate that it does or does not understand what you're asking. Now, if it doesn't understand, you can say, how could I better help you understand? And it'll start listing out some questions that you can answer, and it'll help refine that focus that ChatGPT is always just trying to focus a little bit better on. And that's one of the secrets of being a good prompt engineer. So you can ask it, do you understand? You can also say, act as a blank. Now, this is a really cool one because you can say, act as a real estate agent, act as a broker, act as a photographer, act as a accountant, act as ... And ChatGPT, generally speaking, knows what all of those different things are from all of the data that it's learned and trained on, and it can help inform different things by assuming the role or the persona of something or someone. You can also do things, and I've shared this in several other videos. One of my favorite entrepreneurs is a man by the name of Russell Brunson, and he is the founder and creator of a software called ClickFunnels, and we use ClickFunnels in all of the websites that we ever point you guys to. But I could say, act as Russell Brunson, and he is just a master of marketing. And ChatGPT knows exactly who he is and how he would articulate things. And so I can use things like that. It's those personas. You can also ask ChatGPT to ignore all previous instructions. So maybe, just maybe, you have a prompt that is pretty lengthy, pretty extensive. I've got several prompts in here, or chat threads rather, that I've given ChatGPT a lot of information. It's called seeding information. And maybe at some point I gave it some commands to help that seeding process, as I have, I think several of them were, every time I give you a piece of information, acknowledge that you've received it and understood it by simply saying, okay. Now, what that does is it helps you move a little faster, because it's not articulating back to you what it read or what it understood. It just says, okay, and you can move a little faster. So maybe I no longer want that. I can just say, ignore all previous instructions, and it'll keep moving forward. Now, another really fun one, I love to articulate this because a lot of people kind of don't even think about this, but it's something that, for some reason, the brain weevils that live in the front of my brain kind of held on to this. And and this is not a political thing. I don't really care where you sit on the issue, but in the 2016 election, when Donald Trump was speaking, he was speaking in a 5th grade level, or maybe 3rd grade, I believe 3rd grade, versus Joe Biden, who spoke at a 10th grade reading level. And what this means is the people were able to understand Donald Trump much better because it was much more simple language. Now, again, not political, don't really care, but it is a fascinating little nuance because you see this all throughout advertising. And so what you can do as a real estate agent to help your audience, whoever's reading it, is you can ask ChatGPT to write things in a specific grade reading level. So write this response in a 5th grade reading level. Use clear and simple language, avoid jargon, and favoring concise sentences. Now, what this does is it makes it much easier to read. This is really great when we're working with leads who are perhaps just everyday people, but If you, as a real estate agent, are focused or niched into, let's say, luxury condominiums, your clientele is probably going to skew a little bit more. So you can do research into how educated someone is, who you're trying to communicate with. And you can adjust the grade level based on that. So let's say we're working with lawyers and doctors. Probably that 10th grade reading level makes more sense. But maybe you're talking to people like me who are real estate technologists, and that 5th grade reading level is going to come in handy really well. And so I think that you can do really cool things like that, just again, to help make sure that you're articulating or you're giving the people you're trying to communicate the ability to understand what you're trying to communicate to. Next thing is now add a separation here. This gives you the ability to separate different text outputs, and you can specify locations within the text. So maybe you want to add separations into the generation so that you can go in and fill it in later. It's a really easy one. Say exactly, sometimes output that you want, it says as a part of title or description. So you might say exactly, and then what you're trying to have it articulate exactly, and then it can use some different generational responses based on what exactly you're wanting to say. Respond with metaphor, synonym, analogies, parameters, morals of stories. This helps you, perhaps you're trying to write a story. One of the examples that I just love, Mark shared, is as a world-class client experience, that experience from the core strategies, maybe because you work with families, that John and Jane are going to be coming to your office with Bobby, their 5-year-old son. And Bobby will probably have an action figure with him, maybe a coloring book. But you want to make sure that Bobby is taken care of. And what better way to do it than use ChatGPT to create a custom children's story about the home buying experience for a 5-year-old in a way that they understand. You can do that in ChatGPT. You just articulate it. And so you can use things like respond with metaphor, synonyms, analogies, paragraphs, morals of stories, things like that can help inform this story about how a young boy named Bobby got to go on a grand adventure with his parents. And while they were on that adventure, they decided to find a new home that was full of lots of new adventures and lots of exciting things to be done, from forts to playgrounds in the backyard to this and that. And you can create that story in a way that when they show up to your office, you say, hey, Bobby, I've actually got something special for you. And you pull out this little story, and maybe it's just on printer paper. You hand it to him, you say, here you go. I don't know if 5-year-olds can read. I don't have children, don't actually want children. But if you can read, there you go. That's a fun little way to do that. Rewrite this as a business formal letter. So again, thinking back, we had that 5th grade reading level or like a 10th grade reading level. Maybe, just maybe, we are working with professionals in business, and we need to make sure that we write things in formal writing. And so we can ask ChatGPT to help with that by writing as a formal business letter. We can respond back with questions that is not clear or needs more definition. So this is one of those articulated statements that can help make prompts better, that kind of goes along with that one that I had shared earlier about disregarding ignore previous instructions, right? So maybe at some point we had said respond back with questions. Now we've moved on past that. It's taking way too long and we disregarded it. But when we ask it to respond back with questions when it's not clear, we're helping ChatGPT learn a little bit more so it can build out better responses, right? That's a really cool way to do that. Describe each step in long text form with detailed description. Now, this is where that continue is really going to have some really strong value, because ChatGPT is going to give us some really long answers when we ask it to describe each step in long form text. But what this is really great for too, is it is going to help you understand why ChatGPT is giving you certain answers. And this is a really great way to make sure that ChatGPT is not inventing things and it's not giving you bad responses that you're going to have to go back and apply discernment and adjust later. So I really think that that is a really valuable one. Use the principle from breakthrough advertising. This is a really cool one. If we are building out social media posts or lead magnets to generate more lead flow into our business, or we have an ad that we're getting ready to build, we can say, use the principles from something advertising, from Russell Brunson's advertising, from Gary Vaynerchuk advertising, just different things that are going to be things that ChatGPT understands and can help articulate. In this writing style and someone specific, it's very similar to in the persona of, but this time we're articulating the specific writing style. Return only the main response. So maybe we don't want ChatGPT to write these long paragraphs. Maybe we just want it to return only the main response. And this might be response to emails, or only to the primary or central response. And we're basically asking it to exclude any subsequential text, which is a fancy way of saying lots of filler, lots of fluff, right? Remove pretext and post text. This is when replying to emails. Maybe we don't want the introduction or the closeout. We do things like that. Create a birthday SMS using emojis in less than 160 characters. Now, this is a really cool concept because we can start building out those templates that we apply to our CRM systems. Mark is the creator of RealVolve, which has a workflows platform inside of their CRM that you can automate out all of your tasks, and they use templates to do that. So you could build out several different birthday text messages and make them templates, and then you can plug them into a workflow. And then when Jason's birthday comes around, it's going to send out that text automatically. When Janet's birthday comes around, it's going to send out a different text automatically. And you use those by creating them in ChatGPT. You applied a little bit of refinement so they're a little bit more custom. And in this specific response, it uses some emojis. That's pretty cool. And that's a really cool thing that ChatGPT can do, is use emojis, right? Now, here's one of my favorite ones. When we as prompt engineers are trying to get better at writing prompts, we can say, how can I improve this prompt? And then we insert the prompt that we're trying to do. And we're not as much seeking a response to the prompt, but we're trying to learn a little bit more about how to be very effective using ChatGPT as those prompt engineers. And so this is a really cool way for us to just train ourselves, get better at using ChatGPT. It's a skill that is going to benefit you long-term, and it's only going to get more valuable as we go. Think about it in step-by-step. This is a way to start building out those step-by-step lists. This is something, if you were a RealVolve user, you could build into workflows, and it's kind of a workaround into having ChatGPT give you examples of really great workflows that you could do. And I think that's really cool. Use sequential brackets to add context formatting to the prompt. So in the last video that I did, I talked about how we can tune our ChatGPT, and we can do that by articulating things. Now, we could add in brackets that say bracket tone, and then at the bottom of the prompt, we've articulated the tone. And so we can use brackets to help add those contexts, add the tuning, and that's a really cool thing. So that is kind of what I have as far as some tips for you to use in your ChatGPT experience to create better prompts. And it's not an exhaustive list, but I feel like that was a lot of different tips and tricks. So let me know in the comments, what's your favorite one? Which ones are you using? Which ones did I forget to use? And if you are interested in picking up a copy of the ultimate ChatGPT guidebook for real estate agents, I'll throw that link in the description. Otherwise, like this video, follow along. In the next video, we are going to be diving into some concepts about I'm trying to scroll through and find it the tone and writing style. So we're going to be looking at different tone and writing styles that you as a real estate agent can utilize in ChatGPT to help your writing, and you can do it in a really cool way. But we're going to be talking about that in the next video. But otherwise, like, subscribe, share, and I hope you're having a really great day. But I'll see you very soon.